Hi guys, welcome to this week's Tail Thursday update. I'm going to try something a little different this week because I didn't paint the whole pile. Finished the Coldstar and I painted up, mainly working on commissions again. I finished a lot of commission work and I built more commission models, but I'm not doing much for myself. So, and VA still hasn't been touched. Still haven't touched the Tidewall drone rig, Tidewall Gunrig, but I did do the Tidewall drone port, bar the OSL, because I clogged the airbrush and I was just done at that stage. So yeah, it's all battle damaged up. It's kind of looks like a bit of a jigsaw, and I dry brushed on different force. I painted it black, obviously. This is all black. I didn't bother doing anything with this because you're not going to see too much of it, but I might airbrush red onto these like lens nodes. I've done it on the drone, so I might as well do it on this. That's as far as I got on this. Painted it all to black. I dry brushed this area with Dark Reaper and then with the Vallejo model colour blue grey pale that I swear by. It's the only grey I'll use. And I painted this. It was obviously base coat all black. Then I painted it grey twice, then white twice, and then I was like, you know what? It's not going to be that pristine if it's going to be battle damage. So I just roughed it up a bit with a bit of a wet dry brush. So that's more or less done now, bar the OSL. I have my Coldstar Commander. I painted him with yellow markings just so he's kind of different to everything else. He is also battle damaged. It's kind of hard to see if I'm in focus because the camera's just above line of sight to me, so that's the chair making loads of noise. But yeah, cool model. I played a game this week where I ran the Coldstar Commander in it. I'll read you the list now in a minute, but I ran him with a high output burst cannon. I have the list on this, so right. 2,000 points of Tau. I played into 2,000 points of Imperial Guard and got absolutely slaughtered. Stuff was just getting lifted off the table. Didn't bring any Riptides, only brought 2 Hammerheads and deployed like an absolute fool. Deployed the standard Hammerhead behind the building and left long strike in the open. So I'll go through the list with you. I brought a brigade detachment for 9 command points, 113 power level and exactly 2,000 points. So I started off the Cadre Fireblade, just standard. He came in at 42 points. Commander in XV86 Coldstar Battlesuit, 164 points. I gave him advanced targeting system, high output burst cannon, a shield drone, a marker drone and 2 plasma rifles. Just because why not, like instead of 2 plasma rifles I think is 24 points and the fusion blaster was 21 or something when I was making this. Well, I suppose I could just go back and check, couldn't I? Plasma rifles are 11 points and fusion blasters are 21. So for one gun I got 2, but obviously it's not melted. Then for my third HQ I brought long strike, gave him the burst cannons, 2 seeker missiles. I only fired 1 of them, and a railgun. For troops, brought a 10-man breacher squad, 10-man recruit squad, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-man strike teams, which kind of deployed at the back of the board. One of them was holding an objective, one of them was in a building with cover, but I ended up deploying the other 2 units in the open, so I had 3 units buffed by the Cadre Fireblade's volley thing because he started dropping down. It could have been the Tempestus Scions, maybe? I'm not sure what they were called, but they basically dropped down with hotshot las guns and plasma guns and melta guns and just started shooting stuff up. For the elites, XV25 stealth suits, 104 points. 3 stealth suits with burst cannons and I paid 20 points for the homing beacon that I never got to destroy because his army was 1500 points of Imperial Guard and 500 points of Custodes, and it was 3 shield captains, and the Force Custode just ran up and picked up the stealth team and ran and dropped them back on my dead pile, so it was very upsetting. Crisis Battle Suits, 222 points, 2 chassis and 1 chasseur, all with Fusion Blaster and Plasma Rifle, because that's the way they're built. XV95 Ghost Guild Battlesuit, 2 Flamers, Fusion Collider and 2 MV5 Stealth Drones. This is where things get interesting, because if you're clever and you have the points, you can bring what I want to call the Tau equivalent of Devastator squads. It's a Pathfinder team. So for this one I brought the Pulse Accelerator drone. I brought that, and when I deployed with the Vanguard move, I moved the Scout or the Pathfinders forward but the drone back, so it was buffing the Fire Warriors, and it ended up that my half-inch range was, it would have been 18 and I was playing it as 21, because I was adding it to the half range. Okay, that was wrong. Well, there you go, I corrected my own mistake. So squad number 1 had 5 Pathfinders, Pathfinder, Chasseur and a Pathfinder with an ion rifle, which was absolutely amazing because the ion rifle was like hitting like every time, and whenever I rolled a wound, if I needed a 3 I rolled a 2, if I needed a 2 I rolled a 1 to wound, not to hit. Second, that came in at 68 points. Second Pathfinder team was 100 points, 5 Pathfinders, Pathfinder Chasseur and 2 Pathfinders with rail rifles. They got lifted up pretty quick. I think these are the MVP of the game, racking up 14 kills by themselves. It was 140 points. The Vespid Stingwings, I brought, I think it was 9 Vespid Stingwings and a Strain Leader. Strain Leader is 2 points extra. He has an extra attack, and his leadership is 8 as opposed to 5, so it's kind of decent. That was fast attack, heavy support, TX7 hammerhead gunship, 2 MV1 gun drones, rail gun and 2 seeker missiles. I only fired 1 again, so that came in at 172 points. That was the one I hid behind the building, which actually lasted most of the game. But again, it was the only wounds I ended up doing with it was the mortal wounds. If you wound on a 6, it does D3 mortal wounds, which is brilliant. But my opponent was making his saves. Whenever I shot had an invul save or something. It was probably because I was I spent most of the game pouring my army into shooting 3 shield captains, and one of them was the Warlord. I lost the game 10-7 in the end, but like the last cards I was drawing was kill a unit in the fight phase, and I was like, yeah, me with my, pillow fisted Tau are really going to do a lot. Anyway, moving on. So Hammerhead for 172 points. Brought 2 broadsides of separate entries, coming in at 130 points each. They had 2 smart missile systems, heavy rail rifle and a seeker missile. And that was them. They're actually pretty decent. And then for the breachers I brought TY7 Devilfish with 112 points. That came with 2 gun drones and a burst cannon. So that was the list. I gave the fire side, the Cadre Fireblade, the Pure Tide Engram Neurochip as his relic, and Unit Eater Devastation as his Warlord trait. So it was nothing spectacular, it was nothing highly competitive, it was kind of a fun game where we both had a great laugh and it was a bit of crack. But everything I played was painted more or less. It mightn't have been based, don't get me wrong there, but like just being able to take everything out of your case. If you see what I'm doing over here, being able to take everything out of your case painted was very nice. So Unit Eater Devastation is pretty decent. and obviously because I took long strike, I played as the actual Tau stepped. So I was overwatching on 5s and 6s, which is pretty decent because it did help. But if I was playing the same matchup again, he had a couple of Lehman Russes, he had a tank commander, you know what I mean? Like, he had heavy weapon teams everywhere. Last cannon, auto cannon, and a missile launcher was the loadouts and heavy weapon teams. So he was throwing out more heavy firepower than I could. I dropped the crisis suits down. I think it was my turn 3, and I dropped them down behind the Warlord Shield Captain, which was grand. I got all the marker lights on him that I needed to get on him. I used the uplink marker light stratagem thing, so I got one marker light done. That it was from the Cadre Fireblade, hitting on 3, so that was fine. Done the uplink marker light, got an extra 2, so my seeker missiles were firing, and he's just making invuls the whole time. Like, it didn't matter what I fired at him. He had some aura as well, which made him -1 to hit, which is a real pain in the arse. But I fired a seeker missile and I was like, yes, it hits and wounds, and then I was ready to start rolling d6 damage, and he was like, yeah, I save it with my info. I was just like, just give me something, man, just something. So I was kind of getting salty near the end. I haven't got my Tau Codex yet. I don't know what the story is anymore. I gave up hope, really. So I don't have data cards, like Tau data cards. I'm just using the standard ones. It was like psychological warfare. He didn't have any psychers, and I don't, because I'm playing Tau, but we both ended up drawing Witch Hunter or whatever it is. You basically kill a psycher. But I'll talk about the positives of the game. Great game, fun to play. Vespid are OP. I brought them down. I think it was on my turn 4. At this stage, I have very little left on the board, and like we both knew it was coming to the end. So I just dropped them down for the crack, try and grab an objective, because I put say it was secure objective 2 or something. So I pulled that and dropped the Vespid down on it. Thankfully, he had no one close enough to stop me dropping down. So I dropped them down. That was grand. Neutron blasters are 18-inch range, strength 5, -2, 1 damage, assault 2. So they're pretty decent guns. Like, so he had an Imperial Guard squad, and I lifted 7 of them. When I mean lifted, I mean like they weren't in cover, and the -2 negated their save, whatever way it worked. So I lifted 7 force round shooting. Then I drew secure a different objective, so I had to hop over to get that one to get another point. So the boys hopped over, the Imperial Guard, laughing at them, clicking their mandibles. I had to advance over to get to the objective, but when I done that, I was -1 to hit, and whatever way the dice rolled, because they're assault weapons, I managed to live, because that was right. So say turn 1, I drop down, kill 7 Imperial Guard, hold the objective, get the point, bingo. Next round, he drops down another. I'm pretty sure it's the Tempestus Scions or whatever the hell they're called, but they fired at the Vespid, and because the Vespid were in cover, didn't do any damage, which was grand. He was missing most of his shots anyway before getting there and whatever. But now, so say my turn 2, whatever it was, turn 4. So turn 4 button now. So turn 5, they hopped over, secured the other objective I needed to secure for a point, fired again into this time into the Tempestus Scions, we'll say, lifted it another 7. So they were 140 points. They lifted 14 guys. So it's like they're 12 points a model. So I think they done pretty alright. Like, For a 10-man squad, it was 140 points. They lifted 14 guys. Whatever the math is on that seems decent, and I was happy enough with them. They hit on fours, they hit on fours, and if they're fighting, they're hitting on fours as well. So they're actually pretty decent. I posted a picture there a couple of weeks ago when I was painting the Vespid, and I had I had the 15 of them out in the picture because I batch painted them, and people were like, "Why do you have 15 Vespid and whatever?" Now, realistically, I probably should have been taking units of drones, but I didn't bother. If I had used my brain, like I would have, I don't know, maybe not taken the hammerhead, taken the third broadside, taken, I think it's a spearhead detachment for the fast attack, and just brought 3 units of drones and put a HQ in there instead of having it in the brigade or something, or brought an extra HQ. Because what I really missed was the ethereals being there for like reroll ones or 6+ feel no pain basically. So I think I'll have to look at squeezing an ethereal into the list somewhere, just for survivability and not having to rely on marker lights hitting every target on the board for reroll ones. I suppose I could have declared Cayenne and Montca and whatever else, but my commander wasn't on the board at that stage. But overall, a good game so far. Wouldn't mind using the Riptides in the next game. I was watching Tabletop Assault's game where they used 3 Riptides with ion accelerators, and they seemed pretty decent. But not like there was another stratagem he used where he got to add 1 to wound rolls or something. I didn't use anything like that. I used uplink marker light drone or uplink marker light stratagem and the reroll stratagem. That could have been it, because that was literally all I had that I could use. Because I don't know, like trying to flick through all the pictures on the internet it's not an enjoyable way to play. Excuse me, we'll put it that way. So that's it for this week, guys. I don't think I'll get playing again next week, cause, I'm working 5 days straight and then going to Spain, so I'll be away there won't be a video for 2 weeks, so I probably won't get a game in either, just packing and working and all that kind of adult stuff that we unfortunately have to do. But it's been fun. I've rambled on long enough, I think, and I don't know where my brush paper is gone, so I think I'll call it there. I'll do a what's on the table update before I go away. I'll do that next week one of the days. Alright. I have a serious sinus infection and I just have no motivation for painting, but I managed to do some stuff, and doing this on camera is actually a lot easier than sitting going, oh look, I painted this and that's it. So I might do that in future. I'll just sit and work on tau units or something. Not like I don't have enough to paint, but sure, look, we'll see what we can do. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please comment, like and subscribe and hit the bell button, and we'll see you next time.